I don't generally watch police brutality videos anymore. Like, I avoid them like the plague. And honestly, this year, I've had a hard time commenting on a lot of the murders by police, like on the streets and behind bars, because sometimes it feels like you're just coming out and talking about pain. Like, you're just saying the same thing over and over, like how horrific something is, and you're not saying nothing new, right? And it just feels traumatic. But I watched the video footage of those corrections officers beating Robert Brooks to death in Marcy Correctional Facility in New York. And that was some of the most gruesome, just brutal, unnecessary, like wickedness, like the desire. You could just tell the desire to brutalize somebody just because you could. You know what I mean? Like to beat a shackled man. They was kicking him. And when I see it, like, it's so crazy to see something like that and realize and have to, what I feel compelled to point out to people is that's the shit that's happening all the time. Like, think about it. We only even hearing about this now because body cam footage has been released by the Attorney General and because the family is suing. This been happened. You don't know when it happened. And the reason you don't know what happens is because they don't tell you anymore when people are killed behind bars. This is something I've been talking about all year. But I think importantly that I feel compelled to say is that people think of police brutality as only when police murder somebody outside. It's never a part of the conversation, the routine brutality and murders that's happening behind bars, and that's the scariest shit. And I see a lot of people calling for those corrections officers to be prosecuted, right? And like, this is something I made a video talking about this on my YouTube channel. I'll put an image here, but this is what's important, right? It's like when people call for these charges or people are like, oh, look at the brutality of this corrections facility. It's not an anomaly. This is not a one-off. You know what I mean? You just happening to see this. It's not specific to that corrections facility. That's the scariest part. There's a reason why they felt so brazen that they could do that with body cam footage on them. I say all that to say, like, it's cool to call for charges, and they should be outraged at the fact that these officers only just fired, or the fact that they're like, oh, they're conducting an investigation. What the fuck is there to conduct? You could fucking see these people beating, brutalizing a handcuffed man and killing him. What is there to investigate? So I say that to say, we have to address the system. Like, when y'all start talking about what needs to happen, we need to start talking about the transparency that needs to happen and how people are treated behind bars. We need to talk about these absolutely bullshit fucking investigations. And we need to talk about the larger, more expansive conversation on police brutality and the fact that it is routine. But the institution is to brutalize them like this. So as horrific as you looking at what happened to that man, please remember, there's so many people going through that behind bars and you will never hear their stories.